check again, and I take this. Now, at this point in the game, I kind of realized what had happened. Because I'm like, okay, I sacked both of my rooks, and then I also noticed white has no pawns left. And I have all 7 of my pawns. So we have 7 pawns against 2 rooks. Hey guys, played a game earlier, which if I hadn't played it myself, I don't think I would have believed it was a real game. It looked like something that came out of a composed puzzle or something towards the end. It was ridiculous. So I'm going to show you this game. I haven't analyzed it yet, so I don't know where the big mistakes were. I'm going to leave the eval bar on there so we can kind of follow as we go through this super interesting game. I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's take a look. All right, so I'm black. My opponent played e3, which looks like a weird move, but I've played this person before. They like to play e3 and c4 and go into like a kind of like a reverse Sicilian where you're playing the Sicilian with white. I don't know why they don't just play the English and play c4 right away and then play e3. That seems like it would make a little bit more sense to me. But anyway, we get this. I played d5. I just wanted to strike back at the center right away. Interesting move here I thought would have been e4, because if I take it, then there's this fork and I lose my knight. So that's kind of a fun little trap. But I guess I'd probably just play like c6 here, turn it into a gambit, and the game probably goes on. But this seems like probably fine for me. Anyway, a3 was played. I took the pawn back. Queen to c2. I'm just developing. b3, more development. And I traded that off and castled. Opponent also castled. And I wanted to solidify the center here. And after this move, I noticed that if we look at white's position, what are the kind of like some of the major weaknesses in white's position? Well, it's the queen side where the king is, right? The king is over there and the pawns have been pushed forward and there's this diagonal, right? These light squares looked pretty weak to me. So I wanted to try to take advantage of that. So that's why I played queen to d5, thinking about potentially infiltrating over here. Knight to e2. And then I went ahead and brought the queen down there. Now, at this point, I didn't exactly know what I was doing. I just felt like getting the queen close to the king, maybe bishop to b3, and potentially at some point, if we can sacrifice and get the knight involved, it looked like there could be some tactics that would show up. So queen here, and then I actually missed this move, queen f5 check. I just quickly thought that I was winning the exchange, but white does have queen f5 check. And then I missed the next move too. If you want to pause, what do you think white played here? Yeah, if you said knight to c3, that's correct. And my queen actually is trapped. I have nowhere to go. But I have a way to save it. So if you want to pause, how can I save my queen from this position? All right, if you had a chance to look at that, the move is bishop to e6. So thankfully, I did have this available. I totally didn't see the queen trap. But this move saves it because now if white takes my queen, I'm going to take white's queen, and so that saves it basically. So he went back here. I played queen to b3. Only real move for my queen. It was still basically trapped because all these squares are covered, so I had to go there. Queen goes back, and is this the moment? Yeah, this is the moment where, let me actually see, what does the engine say? Okay, engine says a5 was the way to go, which I didn't even consider. I had the right idea, like somehow attack on the queen side, but I didn't think about a5. I decided to sacrifice because I thought once my knight ended up here, I just saw all sorts of potential ideas that just looked really nice. And so I felt like this had to be good for me somehow. Opponent was defending very nicely though, played d3. And I felt like, okay, I have all these pieces, everything's threatened. We need to get more pieces into the action. So the rook came up. I have, maybe I'm going to double up and just pile on here. Maybe I'm going to come here. Maybe I'm going to come here. Maybe I'm going to even come here. Like so many options. And so g3, I wasn't exactly sure. Let me see. What does the engine say? I don't think I played that move. Did I play bishop g4? No, I didn't. So yeah, bishop g4 is totally winning, which I missed. Yeah, I totally missed this idea. Okay, so I played rook here. King to d2. I felt like, let's get the other rook in, rook to d8. And this is where the game started to get pretty weird. So he goes here, and I'm looking for some tactics. I'm not really seeing too much. So I'm like, let's just go ahead and double up the rooks. My queen's defended, so I'm not really worried about that. Knight here, okay. And I decided to start sacrificing. And engine, of course, doesn't like it. But I saw that after this, I had this move bishop to g4, which looks pretty nice. And if f3, well, then I thought, okay, I'm going to be able to take this, and it looks like I'm going to somehow be able to checkmate the king. So here we go. He blocks. I take it. The king goes over, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to just keep going. Engine says rook to e2 is a move here, which leads to a perpetual check. Interesting. Let's take a look at this. Queen takes f3, king to d2. Where's the perpetual? Queen to e2. King has to go to c3, knight to a2, and somehow this leads to a perpetual check, is what it's showing. Bishop to e6 this is nuts. Okay, yeah, obviously I wasn't seeing all this in a blitz game. Anyway, I didn't realize it was going to be such a long line. So I took here, and I just kept taking pawns. And basically, the king castled queenside, went like this, and has been running this way, being chased as my rook just kind of keeps taking things, right? Like, this is what's been happening. So, already kind of looking pretty weird. And then I decided, you know what? Let's just keep sacrificing. Now, the reason I did this was because I wanted to open up the square for my queen to come over. And I didn't actually see a checkmate, but I felt like I could at least get a perpetual check or something. And I didn't really see what else to do. Yeah, Engine actually just says, if I just play a random move like a5 to defend my knight and clear the back rank mate threat, black is slightly better. That's amazing. We have 3, 6, 7 pawns. Anyway, I took this. He took me. Queen f3 check. Check. Check again. And I take this. Now, at this point in the game, I kind of realized what had happened. Because I'm like, okay, I sacked both of my rooks. And then I also noticed white has no pawns left. And I have all 7 of my pawns. So we have 7 pawns against 2 rooks, which is kind of funny. Now, Engine says I don't have enough compensation, which makes sense. I mean, it's not only the pawns against the rooks, it's that I have some problems here in the position. Like, my king is not entirely safe with this checkmate threat. Well, it's not checkmate, but it's still a big threat. And I played queen f3. I didn't really know what to do. This knight turned out to be the hero of the game for white because, I mean, look at this. It's defending everything. It's stopping my queen from going anywhere. It's blocking the check this way. This knight is amazing for white. And I just, you know, couldn't really find anything to do. So he captured here. And then at some point I wanted to save the, you know, clear the back rank so I have a place to run. Bishop to f5. It's a fork. Could have thrown in this check, which I was expecting, but I guess they didn't see that, move the queen. So I did get one of the rooks back. So now we have a rook versus 6 pawns, which, I mean, I don't know. Then you also have white's king is not really safe, except it kind of is because this knight, again, is just amazing. And I couldn't really do anything. So unfortunately, you can see the time there. I was getting really low on time, and so I didn't really have much of a chance to make this much of a game. Also, my king is not really safe. You can see the problems, and I decided to go for this queen trade, but... Oh, Engine. Wow. Engine likes that a lot. So white was supposed to play queen b8 check. Oh, yeah, of course, queen b8 check. And then you win the queen, right? Of course. So after the queen trade, apparently the Engine says this is relatively equal. That's fascinating. The 5 pawns against the rook. How about that? Now, like I said, in the game, I had 16 seconds, so I was just kind of playing super quickly and messed it up here. But really interesting position. Yeah, it kind of got away from me pretty quickly here. But fascinating game. I've never seen anything like that before. I lost on time here, I believe. So wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. And stay sharp. Play smart. Take care.